How do I justify the price of an expensive tool? Yoo-hoo, I'll make you famous. Okay, everybody, I want to talk about total cost of ownership, labor shortage, record high labor rates, the lack of people going into the skilled trades, and at the same time, I'm going to solve world peace. I'm going to do all of that by introducing you to the Max TwinTier. This is a rebar tying tool, and I want to be crystal clear on this. Max did not sponsor this video. All right, everybody, in this video, I'm going to share with you the secret to dealing with a labor shortage. Raise your invisible hands if you are currently dealing with a labor shortage where you are at. We have been for quite a while, and what that has led to is record high wages with record low skill levels. Like, it's the opposite ends of the spectrum, and that makes it very difficult to be competitive. So this video, I want to cover just one thing to keep you competitive. This has worked for us. We were basically a two-person framing crew from the market crash in 2008 all the way up to really 2022. That is a lot of work. I look back, I think we really should have added somebody else. But anyway, this company has been in business since May of 1978. From day one, my dad just invested in the company. Tools, vehicles. Starting in the early 2000s, we invested in telehandlers, completely worth the money. So much so that we bought an additional one in 2005. It completely changed the way that we build. Now, coming back to the labor shortage, essentially those forklifts replaced a larger crew. We used to run 4 or 5 person crews. Once the market crashed, we didn't have that much work. To keep 2 of us busy and productive, we relied on the equipment. In 2014, we bought our first Max rebar tying tool. And I'm gonna link to the review below. $1,500 US, the first tool cost us, and it paid for itself many, many times over. You wanna know why? Because we were never going to get fast at tying rebar, so we got really fast using a rebar tire. This week's video is sponsored by Ozlo Sleep. These are the Ozlo Sleep Buds. They are designed to stay in our ear the entire night. They're nice and soft and squishy. They're low profile, so if you're a side sleeper like I am, you don't wake up to any pressure or soreness. 10-hour battery life. The Sleep Buds play specifically engineered sleep sounds to help mask out the environment around us. So maybe your partner snores. Mine does not, and she wants you to know that. Or maybe your neighbors are loud. To get a full night's sleep, we want to mask that sound out, and that's what these Sleep Buds are really good for. As soon as I pop open the case and put them in, it's connected to my phone. I can play a variety of sounds through the Ozlo app. If your phone can play it, these can stream it. If you want to listen to your favorite podcasts, go to fall asleep listening to ASMR, or maybe it's Matthew McConaughey reading. Whatever helps you to go to sleep, you can play it through the Sleep Buds. Every system in our body is affected by sleep. It's imperative that we get a good night's sleep consistently. Fitness trackers, this is great. This just tells me my history of sleep, but the Sleep Buds can actually help me go to sleep and stay asleep. A feature that I really like about the Sleep Buds is I can set an alarm that nobody else can hear. And it's not an alarm that's like a klaxon that just wakes you up to a panic. It's a nice gentle way to wake up. Thanks to Ozlo for partnering with me on this video. For the best sleep of your life, scan the QR code or click the link in the description below, or use the discount code to save $10 off your Ozlo Sleep Buds. We had a series of jobs coming up on difficult sites that were all like basement or tall walls, 9, 10-foot foundation walls. We had 2 jobs where we had to cast in place and pour the garage header. We'd never done that before. The reason that we could do that as a 2-person crew, in large measure, was because we had a rebar tying tool. Tying rebar is tedious, and it is important that you get it right on the money. About 4 years ago, we got the TwinTier. Basically, long story, Max has had rebar tying tools for many, many years. When their patent ran out, other companies then introduced rebar tying tools, so Max just introduced an improved one. The Max TwinTier is a little less than 5 pounds. It now uses significantly less wire. And it ties faster. What's the downside to this tool? $2,500 plus consumables. Now, there's a lot of people out there that say, well, I can tie bar faster. Good for you. But it took you years to get that good, and you're at a much higher rate. If you charge a rental to your jobs for tools like you should be, your consumables are already included in your bid, right? And by the way, I think a roll is it's less than 20 bucks. This entire footing took 1 roll. So that's kind of neither here nor there. especially when we go to Starbucks. What we have found with rebar tying tools is that it instantly makes us extremely productive. We're getting foundations done as a 2-person crew faster than we did as a 4-person crew. Basically, the laborer now has become the fastest rebar tyer in the area with almost no experience. So for those of us that have experience, just think of how fast we are. It's essentially like using a pneumatic nailer versus hand nailing. If we have like a high school kid that works with us for the summer, we can put him or her on this tool at a lower hourly rate, and they can be extremely productive. So right now what we're fighting is record high wages with record low skill level. This tool allows us to take somebody with low skill, low wages, and turn them into low wages, higher skill temporarily. And then of course, as they progress, the pay scale goes up pretty quickly. But when we're trying to compete against other people, this tool replaces an individual on basement foundations. When it comes to purchasing a tool like this, obviously your circumstances are your circumstances and they don't directly apply to mine and vice versa, right? Like we understand that intuitively. Here's the point. Instead of just having a heart attack when we see the sticker price at $2,500, look at the total cost of ownership, which includes things like maintenance, right? But it also includes efficiencies or higher production. So how many jobs would it take you to pay this tool off? Well, I don't know. I just know that for us, we own 2 of them. So clearly the math worked out that it's like if we buy 2 of them, then we can separate, we can run. In fact, I'll show you footage here. This is a foundation that I formed with 3 apprentices, 2 of whom had never done concrete work. One had some experience as an electrician. The other was a 20-year-old kid with no construction experience. And Tyler had construction experience, but never foundation work. We were able to form this entire foundation in 1 day. The previous half day, we tied all of the rebar. And then day number 3 was bracing it all, locking it down. So that's pretty impressive. I'll do another one. This is the Max TwinTier rebar tying gun. For those of you that think that the ties aren't tight enough to climb the wall, plenty tight, plenty tight.
If you cut one more piece, the physics is going to just add. And then we're going to need...
Let's be honest, that was pretty cool. So for a lot of you out there that watch videos on the internet, YouTube, tool reviews, whatever, it can be very difficult at times to go, how do I justify the price of an expensive tool? The sticker price alone is enough to give us a heart attack. But you got to look at the tax implications of the tool, how much more production you'll get out of said tool, in this case, the rebar tyer. What about some of the intangibles like tying rebar is hard on the body? The guys that are really good at it, rod busters, they end up with issues with their wrists. Good for them that they're that fast, but you can completely avoid that, repetitive stress injuries, with the right tool. So if you think about that tool and you bought it today, what will your body be like in 10 years? What will your foundation work look like in 10 years? Will you have guys that are like, I don't want to work for you anymore. This is too hard. Would they stay if you had something that made it easier? There's a lot of intangibles. We've had guys that worked for us over the years that wanted to move on, and part of the reason that they didn't was because we had the tools and equipment. And if they went out on their own, they knew that they'd have to go back to doing everything the really hard way. So don't look at it as just the sticker price of the tool up front. Look at it, calculate how much time does it save you? What are the tax advantages? Can you take jobs that you wouldn't have taken before? And can you use lower skilled labor to still be productive because of the tool? For us, when we factored all of that in, it is a no-brainer to buy the TwinTier. And specifically, I recommend the TwinTier. One last thing I will say, and I want to be crystal clear.